Well, it is pack up day and everyone is starting to take off. We're just packing the caravan up now. We're going to be stopping back in at Birdsville. We'll probably spend an hour or two packing up and then we'll check back in with you once we're in Birdsville. We are down and out of Birdsville. We've filled up with fuel, we've filled up with water again, which took a little while. We even got to stop in at the bakery as well. As you can see, there's flies everywhere. We're just getting ready to go down the Birdsville Track now. I've just aired down all the tires, so we're down at 27 in the Patrol and we're down at 25, I believe, in the Caravan. There's just some small corrugations. The road looks pretty good, not too bad. There is some word of some damage to the road further down due to all the rain that we had earlier in the week. But we're going to play it by ear. We're going to head down a little bit, test the waters, see what it's like, and we'll make a call from there. All right, let's get going. Alright, we've pulled up. We ended up driving about 2.5 hours down the Birdsville Track. We're at a little stop on the side of the road that was marked on Wikicamps as being Lake Surprise Creek, I believe. So I'll put a screenshot up here showing you roughly where it is. Pretty bloody beautiful here. So we did stop at one or two other places on the way here, and we sort of progressively kept getting further and further and further, basically because there were a few people stopped at the other stops as well. And they were sort of, I don't know, they weren't anything special. But if you have a look behind me here, we've got the beautiful sunset with the van in the background as well. So I'll get some nice little cinematic shots of exactly where we are, but it's pretty beautiful, absolutely in the middle of nowhere. About 2.5 hours drive out of Birdsville heading back down. Yeah, we're going to chuck the drone up, we're going to get a drink out, we're going to relax, I think. Beautiful. Little Ollie and I are going to get a fire together, get the camping chairs out, sit down, relax after a fair bit of hectic driving. Leaving the Big Red Bash today was a pretty crazy scene. The cars were packed up, I don't even know how long, probably, I think we spent over an hour to probably travel maybe a couple of Ks down the road just because it was all so banked up. They did an amazing job of trying to get people out. There was just so many people, so I think it was sort of an impossible feat to try and do it super smoothly. Get the fire cranking, get the seats out, and we can sit down and have a nice relaxing afternoon, and hopefully I can get that all done before we can chuck the drone up. Good morning, guys. Wow, what a little camp. How beautiful it is, just parked up literally in the middle of nowhere along the Birdsville Track. Beautiful flat area, nice and open. We've got some shrubs, little creek that runs through there as well. Nothing in the creek at the moment, but it was all beautiful. A little bit cold, obviously, but we got the diesel heater. We ran that for a little bit, and that got us through. It was beautiful. The flies are just starting to come back. So today we're going to be heading off. We're going to be heading about an hour and a half to 2 hours away to a place called Mungarani. There's a pub at Mungarani which is meant to be really, really nice. Well, I think the pub's called Mungarani Pub. So we'll show you what we travel past on the way. I might even try and pop the drone up again while we're cruising along and get Bianca to jump in the driver's seat for a little bit. And I'll get some nice drone shots of us cruising down. There's been a little bit of traffic go past this morning, so I think everyone's sort of slowly starting to make their way down the Birdsville Track. So I assume we're going to meet up with a few more people sort of the further down we get and the more people get bunched up. But pretty keen to try this pub for lunch. Come with us, we'll show you along the way. Beautiful. Is that tasty? Good afternoon. Big day of driving today down the Birdsville Track down to Maree. We found a little spot on Wikicamps, trying to sort of get away from the crowds, so to speak, I guess. This place was called Mulurina, and it's actually a hot spring dead set in the middle of nowhere. So even on the way here, we were unsure about whether we were actually traveling in the right direction to get here. Some of the maps led us down Goat Pass, the others sent us down different roads. So we did make it here. Beautiful place so far. It's pretty late in the afternoon. We've been driving for most of the day. But have a look at this. So this is actually a hot spring. that water is super, super warm and nice. The rest of the water doesn't look overly appealing, if I'm 100% honest with you. I'll show you in a sec. I'll show you some cinematic footage. But we've got a little artesian bore further down, and all that stream is all nice warm water flowing down there. And like I said, we are in the middle of absolutely nowhere. So we're gonna walk around a little bit, investigate a little bit. Ollie's putting his feet in as well. We'll gauge on whether we're going to end up going into the water or not. That could go both ways at the moment, but stay posted. We'll let you know what we do shortly. So camping here is on an honesty system. It's a $10 donation per car per night. There are toilets at the front as well, and so far, based on what we've seen, it's a pretty beautiful place. So we're camped around a bit further down the dirt road on a little lake where this water all looks like it feeds out to. But the water out there is not warm. It's mainly warm all in here from what we can tell. So yeah, we'll show you back where we're camping shortly.
It's hot.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
We've just walked up further upstream to where the source of the water is coming from. It's actually coming out of a pipe over here, which I assume comes from their water bore, or the artesian water bore, further onto their property. But this water here, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of this water. Just touching it, it's too hot to touch. Like, you would not want to sit in this part of the river or this part of the little the water bore stream. It's way, way, way too hot. It's amazing that water that hot can come out of the ground like that. That's really cool. All right, well, I think we're going to head back to the van, have some dinner, have a couple of drinks, set up a fire right on the edge of the little dam there. Should be a nice night, I think. Beautiful weather, of course. Good morning, guys. Well, we got the fire cranking this morning, and Bianca and Kiana and Oliver have all gone down to the hot springs. So I've just got the fire going. I've got the diesel heater on for when they get back. I think it's gonna be pretty warm today, but I think we'll head down there and have a look and see what that's all about this morning. I think it's gonna be really nice and toasty in there. It's about 8 in the morning, so be a little bit chilly out here, but it's gonna be super warm in there. So I'll take you down now and check that out. Let's go. All right, well, that's the end of our little stay here. We're going to be heading back to Maree, which is at the end of this station's driveway, which is half an hour long. I'm going to throw the drain up on the way out as well, because it's a pretty epic driveway, the way it's sort of cut through the land. So we'll be going back to Maree, and then we're going to a place called Farina. Farina's got a bakery there. Bianca's pretty keen to get herself a vanilla slice, hopefully. She's been wanting one of them for a little while now, so we're going to try and get one of those in Farina. We'll see you down there, guys. So we're just going through Maree at the moment, which was on our way out of where we stayed last night. And you can see the lineup behind me for fuel in Maree as everyone's trickling through from the Big Red Bash and making their way down to Birdsville Track. So we don't really have to get fuel, but we're going to get fuel today just to be safe. I've still got 4 full jerry cans, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we've got a couple minutes up our sleeve. We're not traveling too far today, so we're going to just be safe and get the fuel in this line, unfortunately, but we should be all right. Shouldn't take too long. Very cool to wander around some of these older buildings through Farina. We also got a detailed description of how the old bakery works. So they actually still use the old bakery, underground bakery, which is just next to the new bakery. There was a gentleman down there who in peak season stays up here and runs the bakery, and they actually keep the fire going in the oven 24/7. So they have shifts where they come in and feed the fire and stoke it up and get it ready for a 4 a.m. start, where they start baking all the bread for all the travelers that are coming through. And so you've got fresh bread almost every day. And in our experience, you probably want to get in there pretty early to get the bread, because both times it was sold out fairly early in the day, so sort of by lunchtime. So yeah, beautiful place. Definitely stop in, have a walk around all the old ruins. It's actually really cool to see how busy the place used to be when it was working back in the day. We've made it into camp for the night. We are staying down here at Farina. Farina have a campground just down from the bakery. You'll see the beautiful bakery that we had lunch at, which was awesome. People are starting to roll in camp here. This is a free camp with toilets. That's about $20 a night, I think, from memory, which is really good. So we'll show you around. I'll get some shots as well of the campsite and show you what it's all about. It's actually quite handy and quite big as well, which is good. Good morning, nice early start this morning. We are heading off from Farina campground. Campground was $20 a night. They've got a honesty box at the start there, which is really helpful. They've got toilets. They've got a bit of everything here, really. There's a lot of space for camping. There's designated fire pits. There's toilets, like I said, multiple toilets. It did get pretty crowded as the night went on last night, so come a little bit earlier maybe, and you'll be able to set up in a nice spot and you won't get surrounded by people. So we're gonna make an early start this morning. We're planning on heading to Parachilna Gorge, I believe it's called, and we're going to head straight to the bakery this morning in Farina. They've got some fresh bread they bake every night during their peak season. And we're going to get some fresh bread and maybe a little bit of breakfast. And then we're going to head straight out to Parachilna. We're all good for fuel and everything else, water, everything's pretty good at the moment. If we do see a water top up on the way, we'll probably stop and get some water as well. But other than that, we're pretty much good to go. Just waiting for the other guys to jump out the van, jump in the car, and we can head off. All right, now for our next campsite. So we've just pulled over on the road to Parachilna Gorge. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it is a dirt road. So as the cars go past, it is a dirt road. So I've just pulled off on the side of the dirt road and just letting the tires down again. I had the back tires put up just while we were on the sealed road. So I've gone down to 27 in the back. It's got a nice little bulge there. Looks quite good. I think that'll be fine on the dirt road. I'll do a quick check over on the Caravan as well. I think the Caravan's all looking good. Caravan tires are still down fairly low, so they should be right, so we don't shake the Caravan apart. But the view's starting to look pretty amazing in the Flinders Ranges here. Check this out. All right, everything looks good. We are set to go. Let's go find our next camp, Parachilna Gorge. done. We've found our camp. River frontage. Bit dry at the moment, don't mind that, which is unlike anywhere in Australia at the moment. But there definitely was water flowing through here a couple of weeks ago when we had all that crazy rain. By the look of it, there's sitting water over there in the little pools, which is pretty cool. So this is our setup. You can see with beautiful flat surface. Ollie's making a fire pit at the moment down here. Kiana and Bianca have just gone for a walk to have a look at the goats. There's a heap of black goats and white goats up on the hill there. So we'll go have a look at that later. We'll get everything set up. I reckon this is a pretty beautiful spot. I don't know about you. I think this is going to be very nice. We're just going for a little afternoon walk down the creek. You can see Ollie in the background, just exploring and playing with the rocks, finding different kinds of rocks, and Kiana's collecting all these pretty little rocks. It's really cool. Obviously, we've just had a heap of rain down here as well. So this was all probably rushing like crazy for a couple of days while all that water washes away through here, as it does in the Flinders Ranges. But there is a little bit of water sticking around still, and I'll turn the camera around and show you, but it's really interesting. The water sort of appears from nowhere and then disappears again, like it's flowing through, but it must be going underground. It's actually really interesting to see. I'll show you here. So you can see the water coming down here. You can see it flowing here. And then it just ends. There's no more water. No more water for as far as we can see down there. It's all sort of flowing through here. And even just up here, it's sort of flowing through just here, coming all the way down. You can see that water just flowing from left to right across the screen. And then it disappears under the ground. We've got some bubbles here. But it does just seep through the ground and disappears. That's really cool. And even over here, see it flowing down here, flows down into a little ditch, and then disappears under the rocks. It's really cool. And then you can see down the rest of the river, it's all dry, no water whatsoever. That's really interesting. Well, just like that, we are packing up from Parachilna Gorge. This is a beautiful little place to stop, not too far from Adelaide as well. If you're ever cruising through here, make sure you do spend a night here at least. Definitely worth it with some of the scenery here. There's no booking needed to stay here. You don't need to book anywhere. It's sort of a first in, best dressed kind of thing. Make sure that you probably get here a little bit earlier in the day. Make sure you get a good spot. In saying that, there's so many spots and camps through here that you could set up. You can hear Kiana in the background going cooey. The echo through here is amazing through the gorge, because this river curves all the way through the gorge, and the echoes that we were getting last night, it was a good solid couple of seconds later and you get a real clear echo. It was actually really cool. The kids found that really fascinating. Plenty of flat area. We managed to pull in, you know, not too late in a day, and we still managed to get a good spot, which was cool. And we're probably what you would consider a bit of a peak time at the moment. South Australian school holidays and everyone coming through from the Big Bash on their way back down. And we still managed to get a really good sight. We're towards the end of the gorge in saying that. There were a fair few people sort of up the start of the gorge, but I'll get some nice scenery shots on our way out when we cruise through the gorge. Like just behind me, I'm looking at it while I'm recording, but absolutely epic cliff faces and hills and scenery. It's really beautiful. You must see it to believe it. It's really cool. All right, we're going to continue packing up. I've just thrown the jerry cans, which I've managed not to use at all this whole trip, all the way up from Adelaide to Birdsville and then back down to Birdsville Track, detouring everywhere. Yeah, we haven't had to use the jerry cans at all yet, so we did really well, which is really surprising. I thought we'd need to use them at least once, but everything was all good in that sense. I've just thrown them in now just to get us back, just because otherwise they're going to sit there. I might as well use them. It's probably the cheapest fuel we've used in the last 3,000 kilometers, I reckon. We filled these up when we were just leaving, I believe, so it would have been like $1.60, and we've been filling up with fuel at like $2.60, so it's been pretty extreme on the fuel side of things, but no troubles with unleaded. Massive lineups for diesel. The diesel guys get a little bit cranky when you push in, even though you get told to. I can't remember which servo it was, but we got told by the service station people there was a massive line for the diesel, and they said there's a whole pump here not being used for unleaded if anyone's unleaded. So I sort of cruised around the side, had a quick fill, skipped the line so to speak, and as I was pulling out of that, then I got a mouthful from some of the guys in their Land Cruisers and everything. But it is what it is. I was only doing what I was told. Can't help that. Understandably, everyone wants to get in there and get out of there as quick as I can, so I don't blame them at all. All right, overall pretty successful trip. We're going to finish packing up and head back out through this gorge and make our way back to Adelaide, I believe, today. Thank you for watching the video so far. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I'm not sure where our next trip will be, but I'm sure it'll be really good. Easy, guys. Just airing up now, all the way down the end. You can see right down the end of that road is where the gorge that we were camping in is. Road in's not too bad. It's a little bit rough, but you know, if you take your time, you got your air pressures right, it's not too bad at all. We're about 20 meters, 50 meters from the highway now, and I'm just gonna bang the tires back up to about 45 psi, which is usually what I run on the highway with the 35s, and it does really well. Apart from that, it's probably going to be a pretty boring trip home on the black stuff, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end until next time. That's probably going to be about it, I reckon. Nice drive home, nice relaxing drive home on the black stuff. Easy. Thank you, guys.